Welcome into today's show. I am Tom Downey. We're taking a look at Mel Kiper's 2025 NFL Draft Big Board today. He updated this a couple days ago. We're going to go 1 to 25 and also mention some players that did not make the list. Number 1, Travis Hunter. Now, I actually don't mind Hunter being on here. At some level, I do think ESPN has kind of really pushed the Colorado narrative a little bit more than maybe they should have. But as it specifically relates to Travis Hunter, I get it. That dude is unbelievable in the amount of plays he's able to be out there. I think he's probably a better cornerback than he is right now wide receiver. And there's a lot more highlight reel plays at wide receiver because it's easier to see on the broadcast. But I genuinely would let him try both ways. If he was only a receiver, he'd be a first-round pick guaranteed. If he were only a receiver or only a corner, he'd be a first-round pick. So where would you guys play Travis Hunter in the NFL? WR for wide receiver, CB for cornerback, or B for, you know what? You're going to try out both of those spots. Let me know in the comments of today's show. There's not that many surprising things on this list, and Will Johnson being number 2 is certainly not a surprise either. I think he got a little bit greedy at times against Fresno State. And I will make note, this was before the week 2 matchups is when Mel did this list. But Will Johnson is a stud. He is sticky in coverage. He offers so much of what you're looking for in a potential number 1 corner. I also appreciate James Pearce Jr. being so high on this list. Highly impactful last year. I'm excited to see him play the SEC slate as we get forward into this upcoming season out of Tennessee. He's a little bit thinner than I typically prefer in edges, but this is flavor of ice cream stuff here. I like it when my edge rushers have speed and bend and athletic ability because I think that allows them to do more things. Those guys are harder to find than the power rushers. Now, he's played 39 snaps this year. Tennessee's blowing out a bunch of teams. So more to come from that perspective for him. Mykel Williams out of Georgia got nicked up in the first game, has also only played 20 snaps so far. Pearce and Williams are still both a little bit on the projection side, certainly more so Williams than Pearce Jr. is, but the traits are there, and traits matter a lot, especially in this year's draft class. Number 5, Malaki Starks. Mel made some pretty major changes from his last update, and they're for the best. I think he got some, hey, do this from NFL people, by the way. Malaki Starks is that one interception, the way he's in the slot, and he covers the slot fade and makes the pick. That's prime Earl Thomas stuff. And he's bigger than Earl Thomas was. Let that sink in. Number 6, Abdul Carter out of Penn State. You're going to get Micah Parsons comparisons here, and I don't hate that. I think he's a little not the greatest game against Bowling Green, frankly. I thought he kind of better against Bowling Green, I guess, than West Virginia, but I need to see more pass rush impact. It's been a little bit quiet so far to start from Carter. He's moving from off-ball linebacker down to pure edge there. So I think more progress needed, but I thought headed in the right direction. How about that? I think you can argue Mason Graham should be even higher on this list. Now, I get that there is the stench of the Texas game, and the Texas game, the results are going to be what they are. That was really more of an offensive problem for Michigan than it was a defensive issue, despite the final score. It's tough when your offense can't really move the football. But Graham is your next first-round pick from the defensive line out of Michigan. Who do you think is the best player in the 2025 NFL? I think all of those top 7 players you can make arguments for, plus some others we'll get to here on today's show. Let me know in the comments right now. Number 8, Carson Beck out of Georgia. This is the first quarterback on Mel's list. Number 2, by the way, is at number 9. We'll just merge these guys together. It's Shedeur Sanders. I think Sanders, of what he's able to physically do, I think there's a higher ceiling than there is with Carson Beck. I think Beck is... I'm a little bit worried that it's you're going to get Jared Goff out of Carson Beck. And, that's a good quarterback. But if that's the ceiling, that's a different conversation of how much is really valuable there. I like a lot of what Shedeur Sanders does. I hate the Colorado offensive line. Also, Shedeur, you can't say that the offensive line is bad. Like, you can't, like, he's not wrong when he points out that Dylan Raiola never got hit in the Nebraska game, and he did. But, buddy, that is not leadership. And it's not necessarily fair. I kind of think one of the biggest questions Shedeur Sanders is going to have to answer is not on the field. It's all the stuff off of it. It's the band's fight song is his rap song. There's a lot of extra stuff that comes along with doing the Sanders stuff that is going to be a real question mark for teams, fair or not. Tataroya McMillan out of Arizona. Who here watched the New Mexico game? Did anyone stay up late and watch that? That game was stupid. He put up like 300 yards of offense. He didn't do much against Northern Arizona because that's NAU. He's kind of a weird prospect. He's big. He's like 6'5", 210, 215, but he's not good in contested catches, and 200 of his yards here coming out of the slot. He's like a skinny giant slot. He's kind of a unique prospect, but, you know, that size and that movement ability, you take that every time. All right, today's show is made possible by Game Time. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to your favorite teams play live even easier. It filters out all the fluff to only show you incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of different tickets to your next college football game, your next NFL game, the last-second baseball game if you want to go to that one, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. Whatever event you're going to, Game Time has you covered. And your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the industry, by the way. So download the Game Time app, create your account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. But again, create your account, redeem code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's Game Time. Again, not many complaints I have on this list here. Kelvin Banks is number 11, the tackle out of Texas. He will be Texas's first-round pick at tackle in a very, 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 very long time. I would like to see Luther Burden higher on this list. Now, he hasn't played good competition yet, so 64 yards doesn't matter when you're playing Buffalo and you don't need your number one playmaker out there. He was awesome in 2023. I get some shades of, like, not as good, but like Jamar Chase after the catch, yak machine guy. I like a lot of what I see out of Burden. Will Campbell, he's going to battle with Kelvin Banks all year long for tackle number 1. Not his best showing against USC. I think it wasn't as dominant as I was hoping it was going to be. I think in particular the run blocking kind of needs some work, but he has a lot of pressure this year, and that's always a good sign. Benjamin Morrison, the Notre Dame cornerback. We will ignore the whatever the hell that was against NIU in week 2. Marcus Freeman just might be a play down to the level of opponent coach. It just might be who he is. I thought he was good against Texas A&M. NIU didn't throw the ball outside of the one big chunk play they had for the most part. He's going to be a first-round pick too. Tight end 1 for pretty much everybody is Colston Loveland. Got to have better ball security. Can't be fumbling when your quarterback actually gets you the ball. His numbers are going to be limited because I don't know if that Michigan offense is going to be able to move the ball effectively very much through the air. Quinn Ewers, hey, he looked pretty good against Michigan, didn't he? I do wonder if that was one of his best games as a quarterback. The one thing I'm still searching for out of Quinn Ewers, I thought he was much better deep ball thrower against Michigan. That was a big, big question mark I had about him. I think he's actually been good the first 2 games. Now it's sideline stuff. Still some of those more challenging downfield throws, they challenge him a little bit. He benefits from the Steve Sarkisian offense. In a not great quarterback class, though, Quinn Ewers looked pretty damn good the first 2 weeks. I just want to see a little bit better, more NFL throws. Like, he can make every throw. I just want to see him do it more consistently, which you might not see that much of in the Texas offense, which, by the way, is a good thing for college football. It makes life easier. I think Quinn Ewers has a chance to be quarterback 1 if he keeps this level of play. If this growth that we have seen so far through 2 games stays consistent. Who will be QB 1 in this year's class? Let me know in the comments of today's show. Number 17, another Michigan player. 4 players, and they got their butts kicked by Texas, but that's what happens when you don't have a quarterback. Kind of whelmed so far by the play of Kenneth Grant. Not as good as I thought he was going to be. I want to see more out of him, but he's a freaky athlete. Jalen Walker, who, I'll make note, Mel has not caught up with the times yet. He's not a linebacker. He's listing him as a linebacker. He means like outside linebacker, 3-4 edge rusher. I hate that Mel does it. He was great against Clemson. Got a chance to play for, he got like 244 snaps total last year. Wasn't really on anybody's radar. He was very good against Clemson. He skyrocketed on this list almost entirely, or at least in large part to what we saw against Clemson. Ashton Jeanty, boy, he sure looks like RB1, doesn't he? I mean, he ran all over Georgia Southern. Like, let's see what he does. Let's see what he does against Oregon. How good is he going to be? Ran all over them. Boise State almost upset Oregon because of Ashton Jeanty. He's got 275 yards after contact this season. 275 yards. That is absolute insanity. To be 2 games in and you're at 275. That doesn't happen very frequently in college football. He's not necessarily the fastest player, but he, I think, is by far the best pure runner in this class. And I think he's going to he's putting himself in position, at least, to be the first back taken in this year's NFL draft class. To put it in perspective, so he obviously leads the nation in rushing yards entering week 3 at 459. His yards after contact alone would put him 8th. If you only give him the yards that he has broken tackles on, he is 8th in rushing yards. That's insane, man. OSU's Tyleik Williams, the defensive lineman who does have some fans across the NFL. Nothing overly shocking to put him on there. I think it's still a lot of projection involved with him, but there's a lot of OSU players who are going to be in that top 50 conversation. Now, if you guys love the NFL draft, we'll have more coverage for you here on Chat Sports. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Hit that sub button right now. Let's go to Emory Jones. I'll go a little bit quicker on some of these because I'm getting a little bit long-winded, which, you know what, maybe it's fine. Kind of didn't think he had a great game against USC. Again, the run blocking for LSU, new coaching staff maybe is to blame there. I think there's a lot more room to grow as you get an SEC play there. Siobhan Ravel. It's kind of funny how much Mel's board looks like Dane's board, by the way. That's kind of funny how that panned out. Maybe they both know what they're doing. They are professionals after all. ECU's corner. He's been targeted 12 times. Has allowed 4 yards this year. That's pretty good. He doesn't allow very many catches. It's the mark of a good corner. He will not be tested very much, I suspect, in conference games this season. Ariante Essery, the tackle out of Minnesota, a big boy up front. A very large human being, which, for whatever reason, Minnesota's had a few of those guys come through. He's listed at 6'6", 330. He's massive. Better last year than what we've seen so far, but that's okay. Nick Scorton out of Texas A&M, the transfer from Purdue. A very nice 69 snaps this year. The Notre Dame offense is probably just bad, so I thought his play overall maybe was just, it was good. Again, SC play to come there. And one of my favorite players this year, Deion Walker out of Kentucky. You don't find players who are utilized the way that Deion Walker is. They've given him 4 off-ball snaps this year. You guys know how big he is? He's 6'6", 345. And they put him off ball. They put him 7 times outside as an edge rusher. They did that a bunch in 2023. Like it's unbelievable his size. He is a freaky human being he might be a combine riser coming from Kentucky. He's going to be an early pick. Who do you think Mel Kiper left off of his NFL draft big board? Let me know in the comments section of today's show who you think Mel left off that top 25. There's a lot of prospects left off here. I want to drop a couple quick names that I like. Elke Omenor out of Stanford. You guys aren't going to watch Stanford games. I don't expect you to. Stanford's not going to be a good team this year, probably. Ellick is damn good. Bit of a slow-ish start, I guess, this year. But he's a special player. Emeka Ibuka, one of several OSU players, so put all the other guys you want to put in there right there. Jonah Savanaia out of Arizona could be a top 50 pick. Tyler Booker is Bama's best shot to have probably a first-round pick. That streak might come to an end. Barrett Carter and Harold Perkins, probably the top 2 linebackers this year. I like Tacario Davis, and I also like Denzel Burke as well.